Hi, my name's Erin. I quit a PhD, I quit a marriage, I quit city life, all so that I could homeschool my kids, mentor on a permaculture food forest, and build my own house with almost no building experience. And I filmed the whole thing so that you could come along with me and watch me succeed or fail in glorious fashion.
Hey, won't you stay a little bit longer? I'm sorry, didn't mean to, but I heard you cannot undo it. So please
Hi, buddy.
stay.
Today, we pick up our story in mid-November. After 5 months of building, 5 months of pushing myself to my limit, 5 months of racing to be ready before the snow flies, we finally finished installing the wood stove and chimney just as winter arrived. Look at the smoke coming out of that chimney. So I still need to put the top piece of that chimney on. It's not quite high enough. That's on the to-do list. Oh, it's so warm in here. Oh, I love it. I am here for some nice warm dry mittens because these ones are cold and wet. These ones are warm and toasty. Oh my God. These were soaking wet when I put them on here about 20 minutes ago. I love having a wood stove.
And ow, I hit the middle that time.
Yeah. So I'm putting big pieces of wood into the wood pile. And I'm putting small pieces of wood onto the wagon to take to the tiny house. So I am quickly learning that smaller pieces burn hotter and they're better for cooking. And since I don't yet have an axe, I need to find all the small pieces I can find. And once I have an axe, which I should have in a few days, then I'll be able to cut my pieces into smaller chunks. I should have stacked this earlier, but I was busy trying to build a house. So we have been living in the tiny house for about 5 days now. As you can see by the clothing I'm wearing, it's nice and warm in here, even though it's pretty snowy out there. So the tiny house is, as you can see, unfinished, extremely unfinished. The lofts haven't been put in, the bathroom hasn't been put in, the electricity hasn't been set up, the plumbing hasn't been set up. I don't even have any furniture yet. So I thought I would take a moment to record what life is like in the tiny house at this stage. So standing here at the main door across from the stove, you can see I've got the wood stove all set up for cooking. I'm making oatmeal on it right now. This kettle is always on the stove, so I always have hot water. After 7 months without having any hot water at all, unless I walked to the house to get it, this is the most fantastic luxury I've ever experienced. So the tiny house is divided into two halves. The half that will be the living room and my loft is still a construction site. And today I'm hoping to get the wall paneling on this half of the house. And the half that will be the kitchen and the girls' loft is where we have been living. So there's our bed all rolled up in the corner. We have one of those bed in the box. It's an organic latex topper, and it's absolutely the most comfortable bed I've ever had, and it's only 3 inches thick. And I can curl it up into the corner, and in the daytime it doubles as a couch. There's our toilet. Pee bucket, poo bucket, wood shavings. This is where we keep our toilet paper. And then here, I was keeping water here before, but right now I've got our coats and hats and mittens on it because I needed to clear out that side because we're going to be working over there today. And as you can see, all of our clothes and books and coloring stuff is just in bags on the floor. There is a dresser on the property that I could bring in here, which I might bring in here. I'm just not sure where I would put it. There's really no space. These are the wall panels that we're going to be putting on the wall right now, so I need to be able to access those. I have all these really pretty wooden boxes that I bought that I'm going to turn into my bookshelf, but for now they make excellent kitchen storage. Now, I put it here by the wood stove because initially the girls were like running up and down, taking a shortcut across here, and I wanted to prevent that shortcut. So I'm gonna have to have something there permanently as we design the rest of the house going forward. And then over here is more where I'm keeping my dishes, and that basin of water is where we wash our hands. I bought this the other day, and you can see the temperature in here runs about 25 degrees pretty much all the time, and the humidity is also only about 25% all the time. The temperature is okay. I haven't really found myself too hot at 25 degrees. I mean, it is a bit hot, but I like to be hot. The humidity is a problem though. Like, my throat is dry and my nose is dry. So I've been like hanging wet towels and things like that to try and add a little bit of humidity to the air. And there's pretty much always a window open. Not to mention all the various cracks that I haven't filled with weather stripping, etc. yet. That I might not fill with weather stripping because it's actually kind of a good thing having all these air gaps to let cool air and moisture into the house. And then finally, this is where I do my dishes. In this little box with my back to the stove and my looking at the window at the view. The view will be much better when I take down this scaffolding, but I still have to finish the roof here. It's actually quite a small amount of work that still needs to be done, but it's hard to do in the snow. See, the rabbits like the chicken food. In my loft last night. We don't have stairs yet, obviously, but look at that cozy loft. It is definitely warm up there, and all the heat goes up there, and none of the heat goes down here. So it's a good thing I have a fan. Hopefully that will help with the air circulation. This is not actually a coat rack. It's gonna have my curtain hanging from it, but for now it makes a great coat rack. And there's gonna be bookshelves there, and all my electrical stuff has to go right there, which is a bit unfortunate, but what you gonna do? And then on this side I'm gonna build my bathroom this week, hopefully. Sleep okay? Yeah. Yeah.
Well, I only put it right there on the tape.
Yeah.
So we'll look at the tape with it. Oh, there's where the circle door is.
I'm currently trying to do one of the hardest things I've done so far, which is cut the tin for the last section of roof. All the roofing that I got is, well, it's actually barn siding, and it's used, and it's about 72 inches long, and I need to cut off about a foot for this one section of roof. Luckily, all the other sections, it was exactly the right length, But for this section, it's about 1 foot too long, so I'm trying to cut the metal. Cutting metal is really difficult, which makes me glad that I did not decide to do all of the framing with metal, because right now I hate metal more than I hate anything in the world. So this tool here is called an electric shear, and it does great on the flat bits, but it can't handle the uphills. So I have to use the tin snips to do the uphills. And honestly, tin snips are completely useless. Maybe it's just these ones. They just mostly bend the metal. They do cut it, but it's a pain in the ass. And then I can do the downhills and the straightaways with the electric shears. So I've done 1.5 pieces, and I have 2 more to go after this. Wish me luck. I think it doesn't help that these are the wrong tin snips, but we can't find the right tin snips, so I struggle and I strive, and I cut it 1 millimeter at a time. So we have been living in the tiny house for about 3 weeks now. I have built this sort of makeshift kitchen so that I'm not doing dishes on the floor. The bathtub is in place. This is how I'm planning on setting it up with hand washing and such. And we even have a bathroom mirror. Hi. The toilet I built last weekend. I brought a kitchen table in from somewhere else on the property. This is a shelf that I use to hold plants in the store in the spring. And that end there is still mostly a construction site, although today the girls built a rocket ship, which is there. The stairs were built last weekend, and the cats consider them to be their own personal bed, and the loft is pretty good. There's clothing storage on the end here. This is my loft. It's very hot though, so we really need to get, I'm thinking of putting one of those little window fans in there. And we have in the ceiling our ceiling fan, but we do not yet have electricity. But I mounted the power pack today, which, can I just say, weighs like 100 pounds. So that was really a hard job to do by myself. I could have asked for help, but I just wanted to get it done. So it's done. Now I am working on walls for our bathroom so that we can pee without asking our guests to leave the house. I'm proud to say that I am significantly better at nailing than I was 3 months ago. It's not such a nightmare anymore. And it helps that I don't make as many mistakes and I don't have to pull them out, because pulling out nails, I think even when you're good at nails, it's still hard to pull them out. Building fires.
Just a little bit more. Just a bit.
By mid-December, the house was beginning to feel like home. Warm, dry, and cozy. And just in time. It would soon be our first Christmas in our new home.
You could do it, Mommy!
What does what say? It says Merry Christmas. Nice.
Millie's gonna get one. This is my
Meanwhile, I am trying to finish building our couch so that we have somewhere to sit for Christmas. Christmas is in 2 days. I think the couch should be finished by the end of today. Not the cushions. I'm just going to bring the cushions in from the camper and use those. But it would be nice to just be able to sit on it. I filled that bird feeder up like 3 hours ago. Hey, big guy. Hi. Hi. Huh? It was a really beautiful, simple Christmas. We absolutely loved it. And yes, we had a couch.
You would think it's just a flamingo with Merry Christmas, Daddy.
But the work wasn't done yet. With our neighbor Dawn's help, we had another loft to build.
17 recorders, right?
Apple, I'm gonna put the chest. Do we smoky?
So how's the loft?
So good! Bad! It's too hot up here.
And a kitchen counter and sink.
Well, there you go. Look at that.
So by late January, the house was finally in a place where I could stop. I could rest. I could spend time relaxing with my kids, cuddling and reading. I could catch up on garden work that I had neglected. I could play in the snow with the girls. I could let my fight or flight response, which had been running at full power for months, finally calm down. I could take time to enjoy this absolutely beautiful place where we had landed, our new home. And now that the house was livable, that we were finally out of that flimsy little camper, this place was finally feeling like home. So of course, that's when everything fell apart. I'll tell you about it next time.